welcome to Paragon Cable's exclusive coverage of high school football. Tonight's game, the visiting Gladiators of Gibbs High School to take on the Green Devils of St. Petersburg High School. Hi everybody, welcome to Stewart Field. I'm Jack Taylor along with Coach Jim Miwa. We're here at Jim's old school, St. Pete High, and we've got a good one for you tonight, an evenly contested contest.
It's nice to be back here on Stewart Field, Jack. It's a good matchup, interesting. Even though both teams are 0-3, it's a big game for both teams and both coaches.
What does that mean?
Well, the season isn't over for these two teams, and they're still in the district. They have only played one game in the district, and they can turn their program around. They've played good opponents in the first 3 ball games, and they can still have a good season.
Yeah, it's very emotional when you start 0-3. You need a win. I guess both coaches feel that these are the teams that they should win against.
Right. When everyone in the school is saying, well, you should beat Gibbs or you should beat St. Pete High. So there's a lot of pressure on the kids and a lot of pressure on the coaches.
Also, the 3 teams that have beaten both Gibbs and St. Pete High, they're some good teams.
Good record. St. Pete's opponents 8-1 and Gibbs' opponents are 7-2. They play good teams.
One of the things I like about tonight's matchup is that it should be an aerial circus. Both teams like to throw the ball.
Jermaine Kearse, big kid, about 6'3", puts the ball up, thrown for over 400 yards. Arian Odom, same thing, over 400 yards throwing, 3rd and 4th in Pinellas County in yardage.
That's right. You know, there's 15 teams that play in the county. These 2 quarterbacks have thrown 20% of all the yardage in the entire county. When it comes to running the ball, what do you think we're going to see for St. Pete?
I think St. Pete is going to start running the ball a little bit more. They had success last week against Countryside. Sermons runs the ball well, Carlos Thomas runs the ball well, and Alexander. They're averaging about 6.3 yards a carry. That's pretty decent.
It really is. And now for Gibbs High School, the talented sophomore, Mike Frazier.
Sure, Mike Frazier, big kid, about 6'2". He started last year as a freshman. He's got a lot of talent. If he learns to go north and south and not to make too many moves, he's going to be a good one.
And we got a couple good receivers for both squads.
Sure, you've got Ryan Esteves, number 99, who's had 10 catches. For Gibbs, Jonathan Johnson has about 9 or 10 catches, but I think he has a bad knee. We're not real sure if he's going to play.
Okay, what about the defenses for these 2 teams, Jim? Who has the edge here?
Right now, I think St. Pete High does. I think Gibbs is hurting a little bit. They're real young. He's got some injuries that happened during the week. St. Pete High has 2 big linebackers. Kleber and Thomas are both 205, and they'll hit you.
That's for sure. You know, the last time, Jim, it was 8 years ago, we were on this field cheering you on against Titusville when St. Pete High went all the way to the state championship game. You got to tell us, what does it feel like to be on TV the last few years and not as a coach?
It's a little bit tough not walking the sidelines, getting nervous before ball games. I've enjoyed it, though.
Okay. We're going to be right back right after this. Stay with us. Go to the captains on the field for the toss of the coin.
Let me introduce you to other officials tonight. Mr. McCurry is your umpire. Mr. Rich is your back judge. Mr. Simpson is your line judge. And Mr. McCurry is the linesman. Shooty. The clock is official here, gentlemen. Who's going to talk on this side? Okay, you're going to call the towing in the air. This is the heads. This is the tails, the side with the football field. This is a Federation coin, all right? You're going to call it in the air, loud enough for the other officials to hear it. Line drop the camera up and do it again. You ready? He calls, you know, it is a tail. You're going to receive. You have a choice. Who goes to what kick from. Okay, put your back around to that goal. Okay, shake hands, gentlemen, let's go.
There you have it. St. Petersburg High School will receive the kickoff, and the co-captains for each team. For the Gladiators, you got Arian Odom, Adrian Roberson, and Don Bates. And for St. Pete, it's Carlos Thomas, Corinthian Sermons, Doug Lewis, and Ryan Esteves. Tonight's game brought to you, as always, by Gulf Shore Sports Store. Since 1942, the oldest sporting goods store in Pinellas County. You folks need some new athletic equipment, I strongly recommend you go up to Gulf Shore, especially you students. If you're in high school, you want to be wearing one of those club jerseys or the letter jackets for the girlfriends. Where do you get them? There's only one place. Gulf Shore Sports Store for the best price in town. Guys, if you need a good girl, that's what you got to do first. Get her that letter jacket. You're in like Flint. Also, tonight's game brought to you by Gulf and Southern Mortgage Corporation, one of Pinellas County's leading mortgage brokers. Remember, they're a licensed mortgage broker. If you need to get pre-qualified for buy a home in only one day, you can go to Gulf and Southern Mortgage Corporation. Any of you folks that are listening, you renting a home right now, you know you can afford a home. If you don't know how much, you go there and get pre-qualified. And while you're there, ask Tim Condren about those free Super Bowl tickets we've been talking about. Proud sponsor, Gulf and Southern Mortgage Corporation. Jim, it's game time. Kicking off, Demetrius Tillis.
You can notice that the St. Pete High backs are not very deep. Gibbs has had trouble kicking off.
There's 4 of them together. You're right, it's a short squib kick taken at about the 20.
Good field position at the 35.
Greg Lewis. So St. Pete High at home will start at the 35-yard line. Green Devils and the Gladiators both looking to pick up their first win of the evening.
Jermaine Kearse, high-powered quarterback, over 400 yards throwing, 3 ball games.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun throwing the ball up tonight. I'd be surprised if we didn't see that. Okay, we got triple receivers to the right. We got Greg Paul, Ryan Esteves. Here's the pitch right. Sermons cuts inside. Big gain over 10 yards and a first down.
You can see why he's averaging about 8.3 yards a carry. Nice move.
Stopped by Arian Odom.
When you have trips to one side and wide out to the left, you spread out the defense, allow Sermons to pick. Made a nice cut up inside.
Interesting fact of tonight's game, both starting quarterbacks also play as defensive backs. Again, we got triple receivers to the left, only Corinthian Sermons in the back. Same play, other side, not the same result though. Gladiators stack them up after a gain of 1, led by Rich Herring.
They tried to crack back on the defensive end right there and get outside, and it didn't work. Good job by the defensive end.
Let's take a look at that offense for St. Pete High. Eric McCraw is the center. Sean Brass and Mason McMurray are your guards. Got Niall Hoots and Eric Hughes are the tackles. Again, triple receivers to the right. 3rd and 9. Kearse will pitch to Sermons. He'll cut up inside. Shakes off 1 tackle, and there he's held up to dry. Maybe a gain of 5.
He got 5 yards. The last 3 were on his own. Almost the same play to the right this time. They're allowing him just to pick, run to daylight.
In the backfield tonight, we'll see quite a few people for St. Pete High, Jim. I know we've seen Corinthian Sermons exclusively so far, but the big fullback, Carlos Thomas, gotta like him, 5'10", 210.
And he's gone both ways, too. He's a tough kid.
He's number 1. You see him there. Coming into the slot, Esteves goes to the left. Got twin receivers to the right. 3rd and about 3. Jermaine Kearse to put up his first ball. A little look in, it's complete.
I think that's Tarvin Jones on the outside. This is just a quick curl, about a 7-yard curl. Good looking pattern right there.
First down, St. Pete High.
That is Ryan Esteves' number 99. But that's not Esteves. Okay, that's an 89.
It's 89. Tarvin Jones' first reception of the year. Inside handoff to the fullback. Spinning for about 4 yards is Carlos Thomas. Down to the 35. So far, good ball control by the Green Devils.
And I think you'll see them on the ground a lot more than in the first 3 ball games.
The tackles are brand new here. Jermaine Cross and Antonio Shavers filling in. Don Bates and Pete Hubbard are the ends. Brad Hyman, William Anderson, Tim McGee, the linebackers. Back to action, we've got triple receivers right. 2nd and 6 for the Green Devils. Straight handoff, no, bounces off the fullback. He's not going anywhere. He's going to lose about 4. Thomas is hit by Tim McGee.
He ran into the back of his own guard who got stood up and then tried to make something out of it. Actually lost a couple yards.
Linebacker Tim McGee makes a nice stop. He's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. The secondary for Gibbs You got Terrell Dukes, Adrian Roberson are the cornerbacks. Both played last year for Coach Clay Rustemeyer. James Gibbons and Arian Odom are the safeties. 3rd and 10, passing situation coming up, you would think, for Jermaine Kearse. Fakes inside, looks, nothing there. He's going to take it himself. Can't get around the corner. Good stop by William Anderson after a pickup of 5.
St. Pete came out with trips to the left to the wide side of the field. Tarvin Jones came in as a tight end, was wide open on the post pattern. Kearse just didn't see him.
Has a word or two for head coach Dusty Boylston. Tarvin Jones making his first start of the season. He's going to bring up 4th down, and St. Pete High will be going for it, Jim.
Pretty decent field position right here, not that much of a gamble.
They need about 4 yards. Triple receivers to the short side of the field.
Good pressure.
Pressure's on, and he gets it away, but in the grass, number 63, Don Bates, blew in, and good stop for the Gladiators.
Flag on the field. I think you're going to see intentional grounding. He threw it in the area of number 62, who is a guard.
I believe that play, well, again, they will look at that little look-in pattern to Tarvin Jones. Big pressure. Also, Pete Hubbard for the Gladiators. Let's wait the call.
He threw that in the area of Eric Hughes, number 62.
An illegal forward pass on the green. There's also loss of down, 4th down.
Okay, great field position for the Gladiators.
Okay, here comes Gibbs. They have it on their own 43-yard line for their first possession. Little mix-up. The officials will sort it out. We got Jerry Simpson's crew tonight, veteran crew. Jerry, a graduate of University of Florida. Dick McCreary from Drake. Tom Schutte from Mankato State. Billy Simpson from FSU. Jerry Rich from Mercer. In the back end, also Pat Tully, tonight our clock operator. Pretty good when the officials even get the little notification. You know, I think, Jim, on the field, the down marker was off, and it's going to bring up 4th down now for St. Pete High, and that caused the confusion on the field. There's 7:48 to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless, and again, they're making some moves. Anybody's guess.
Penalty carries loss of down. It is 1st down for the White.
Okay, that was 4th down, and they lost the football. And anytime you can start around the 43-yard line, not bad field position.
You know, when these two teams met last year on television, it was probably the most exciting telecast we had all last year. Gibbs pulling out a 21-17 thriller. Closing seconds. Straight handoff inside.
Frazier, number 22.
Short yardage stop by Russ Sherrod.
Mike Frazier's a sophomore, 2nd-year starter.
Jim, I would think we're going to hear a lot of Russ Sherrod tonight. One of the largest players on the field, 6'2", 250. Left side tackle number 77. We'll see how often we call his name out tonight.
See if Russell can get up and down the line of scrimmage.
Also Jeff Robinson, nose guard. Odom keeps and pitches. Good effort by Frazier. About a yard shy of the 1st down.
Gibbs is coming out with 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts, 1 remaining back. That time they ran a straight option down the line of scrimmage, and Odom pitched to Frazier. Here you'll see Odom come right down at the defensive end, sees the defensive end, pitches the football. Nice looking pitch. Actually runs over the strong safety.
Good execution of making that end commit to him before he pitched. All right, 3rd and 1 for the Gladiators. They're inside St. Pete High turf. 6:42 to go. Scoreless first quarter. Demetrius Tillis fights to the near side. Hand up again to Frazier. He's got a 1st down and more. Down close to the 41-yard line. Mike Frazier, only a sophomore. Jim, I remember last year when we were at Gibbs High School, how Clay Rustemeyer was telling us, also Dickie Sullivan, watch out for Mike Frazier coming up.
Last year, he ran the ball well. He did make some freshman mistakes of going to the sideline too often on his running. That time he got north and south. Looked good.
A Brad Hyman in at the fullback in front of Frazier. First down. Same play. This time a loss. Big Alan Kleber broke through the line and loss of about 1.
6 foot, 205-pound linebacker, read it well.
We're talking about that St. Pete line with Robinson in the middle, Sherrod and Doug Lewis the tackles. Eric McCraw and Niall Hoots are the ends. 2 linebackers and good ones. Alan Kleber and Carlos Thomas.
That defensive front averages about 221 for the Devils.
Pitch to Frazier. He cuts inside, lowers his shoulders, and he's going to pick up about 8 yards. Russ Sherrod makes another stop.
That time the linebacker's got to scrape down the line of scrimmage. The defensive end's got to turn it inside. And Frazier's running well. He's finding
ground.
He's finding daylight. He's making the cuts well.
Secondary for St. Pete High, Ryan Estevez, Dana Harrington, Jermaine Kearse, Corinthian Sermons. Frazier left. Boyd's 1 tackle, goes down at the 30. Should be enough for a first down. Sherrod makes another tackle.
That time they put Kleber down on the line of scrimmage. It looked like 6-1. And Doug Lewis is the one that ran past the ball carrier.
Should have a measurement here. Gibbs looks good so far, and they have not put the ball up yet. Each team has thrown the ball over 20 times per contest.
Clay Rustenmeyer was a little down before the ball game. He had a lot of injuries during the week, and he was just a little worried on how well his offensive line would play together. They look good so far.
Yeah, well, let's look at that. His starting center's out, so Don Bates, fullback, is in. His starting left guard is out. Willie Moore checking in. His starting left tackle is out, and Marlon Green will be lined up there. So a whole brand new left side of the line to go with Jermaine Cross and Derek Bullard. Odom lets it fly. Incomplete, intended for Adrian Roberson. Good coverage in the secondary.
That time they were picking on Dana Harrington, the cornerback, and you can see why. Dana's 5'5", but he's a tough little kid, outstanding wrestler at St. Pete High.
Yeah, he'd have some trouble, I would think, if he was covering some of those Pinellas Park receivers we saw last week.
6'4", 6'5".
Brings up a 2nd and 10. Odom to Frazier. He reverses his field. He could get some yardage here. Cuts back. Picks up about 5.
Kearse, the free safety, number 12, had to come up and make the tackle. Here's just poor tackling. This is good defense to start off with. They have the sweep shut down. Sermons misses a tackle here, makes a break, and Kearse cuts him at the ankles.
Nice defensive play also by Corinthian Sermons, the cornerback, forcing Frazier back inside where he could get some help. 3rd and 6 with 4 minutes to go in the quarter. Arian Odom checks with a teammate.
They're having a little problem with communication down there, and Gibbs does call a timeout.
Yeah, that's Brad Hyman, number 9, they were communicating with. So we got our first timeout of the contest, and we'll do the same for this message. We're back for 3rd and 6 for the Gladiators. Out of the eye. Hyman and Frazier. Arian Odom, senior, goes back, fires across the middle. It's picked off. Sermons has some blockers. He's got the wheels. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 42. Mike Frazier makes the tackle.
Play action pass. They just dragging the tight end across. Sermons read this the entire way. Play action here. He tried to dump it off. Sermons read it the entire way. Good run back.
There's a saving tackle by Frazier. Nice idea. Looked open for a second until Sermon steps in front. So there's our first miscue. That's a problem that's been plaguing Arian Odom this year. That's his 8th interception. Great defense for St. Pete High. Here they come again with the triple receivers to the bottom of your screen. The pitch outside the strung out down the line.
Alexander, number 8.
Demond Alexander came in with some pretty good stats, Jim.
He's averaging about 6.3 a carry. Now, he's an 11th grader. He's going to learn that you can't outrun too many people unless you're a jet on the varsity level.
Good speed by Pete Hubbard, the defensive end, and some help from Adrian Roberson at the corner. They held them in, lost for yard. Again, triple receivers, this time to the top. Only Alexander in the backfield. In motion comes Terrence Ware. Kearse fires a boat across the middle. Incomplete. Had Greg Paul wide open.
Greg Paul, good pattern. He was a little underthrown. He was wide open. He's got good speed. He was the kicker last year, Jack, for the St. Pete High Green Devil football team. He decided he didn't want to kick. He just wanted to run some patterns. Good speed.
Terrell Dukes catches up to the play and makes a very nice defensive stop. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 11. Looks like another passing situation. Estevez and Ware up top. Kearse fires, almost picked off. Going for Tarvin Jones. Adrian Roberson stepped in front of that pass.
Roberson read that all the way too. They know that they're going to be throwing when Tarvin Jones is in the ball game. He was the leading receiver in the county last year. You're going to get him the football, and Roberson read that well.
That's right, 51 catches last year. Here's the punt. It's blocked. Ryan Estevez's punt is blocked. Gibbs has it. I think it's Don Bates who blocked the kick. Gladiators 1st and 10 on the 27.
And bad news, Estevez is holding his knee. He's got a bad right knee. He's still down on the ground.
Looks like he's going to be okay. Going to stay in the contest. So Gibbs comes up with a very big defensive play.
He was a little slow getting rid of the football, but there really wasn't too much protection. There was about 3 or 4 Gladiators who came in quickly.
Again, they go long. Odom lays it up. There it is.
Touchdown, Gibbs.
Adrian Roberson, a beautiful over-the-shoulder touchdown catch over Dana Harrington.
Right, that time they were picking on the height of Dana Harrington. Throws it up over the top. That's exactly where it should be thrown, over the outside shoulder. Nice catch.
Gibbs scores first. 2:06 remaining in the first quarter.
I was really impressed with the throw by Odom. High over the outside shoulder. Perfect throw.
Sean Martin will line up to kick the extra point. Sean, a freshman. Give it too much time. It looks like against Gibbs. Give him a few seconds to figure that one out. Looks like one of the men were not in on time.
Jack, you have a problem. When you have a lot of injuries during the week and you have a small squad.
We have delay of game on the kicking team. Replay the down.
You've got to rearrange all your specialty teams, and that makes it tough. Someone's going to forget.
Tim McGee does the holding. The kick is up. And it is good. Sean Martin. Pretty strong leg right there, Jim.
Gibbs has come to play, Jack. They're coming right at the Devils.
It's going to be a wide open game tonight. I predict a lot of scoring. If you don't have a lot of turnovers, that is. Both teams that are 0-3 tend to have a lot of turnovers. We've seen 2 so far, but Gibbs capitalized on theirs on the blocked punt.
You see 2 wide open offenses, too. We're seeing trip formations. We're seeing 2 tights, 2 wide outs. You're seeing it all.
Again, if you could see the St. Petersburg there, they are the 4 receivers back. Nothing like spreading out a little bit, huh? Now they make the spread.
Right there in the middle.
Right down the middle. It's like Sermon's number 2 from the
Good
20.
Hit.
Big gang tackle. I think Demetrius Tillis made the first stick. Teammates catch up to the play. Well defensed.
Good open field tackle. Sermons can run. He would have gotten good yardage there. Good job by Tillis.
A little talking on the play, too. There is a flag. I would imagine emotions would run high tonight in this game. Both teams desperately want to win, number one.
They want to win. And
number two, they're rivals.
Right, they're neighbors.
They're neighbors.
Gibbs is right down the street here from Stewart Field, and they know each other.
And this one's going to go against the Green Devils. A big one. 15. All the way back to the 15.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the green. Be first down.
That's where you've got to take the lick. You don't like it. Sermon's got stuck pretty good, but you just have to accept it. You never win a ball game with your mouth.
Jim, from a coaching perspective, what's it like to come out of the box 0-3?
It's extremely difficult to keep the kids up to get a good week of practice. It takes a lot of work by the coaching staff to keep the kids motivated.
Again, triple receivers to the right. Estevez, Paul, Sermons, straight hand off to the tailback, and he's going nowhere. Whole front wall of the Gladiators in on the stop. Maybe a yard. That's being charitable.
Gibbs is loading up the inside with that one back remaining, forcing St. Pete High to get the ball up in the air. They're in bad field position to throw. What else are you going to do but maybe give it to the one remaining back?
Linebacker Tim McGee on the bottom of that pile. Remember, we've got Shavers, Cross, Bates, and Hubbard up front. Hyman, Anderson, and McGee, the linebackers. Dukes, Roberson, the corners. Givens and Odom, the safeties. Kiersch rolls right and looks. Fires across the middle. It's complete.
Estevez.
Pick up close to a first down. Depends on where they spot the ball. We're back.
Here's a good job by Kiersch to get outside containment, outside the defensive end. He spots Estevez. Good low throw. And it's a good job by Ryan.
Ryan came in averaging 18.6 yards per catch. Nice curling pattern. They still have 10 yards to go on third down. Triple receiver formation again to the right. Kiersch gets a little blocking. Outside and complete. In and out of the hands of Carlos Thomas.
Good looking flat pass right there. It would have been questionable whether he would have gotten the first down.
That was well defensed also. Might have heard a little footsteps, Jim.
Big kick right here. Estevez got the last one blocked.
He'll line up at about the 17-yard line. Gibbs line up at the 40. This one, Ryan gets away.
End over end.
They could Gibbs bounce out of bounds in front of their bench. So again, the Gladiators will take over with excellent field position. Let's spot at about the 46-yard line. And let's see if we come back with Air Odom.
Sure, why not? Why not sprint out? They've got some trouble in that offensive line, but they're getting fair protection. Throw it to the outside. Pick on the corners.
You got to like Arian Odom, the senior quarterback, seasoned veteran, maybe not in football, but as a leader.
Sure.
Remember, he was with that Gladiator basketball team, point guard, a lot of pressure. A couple years now, the team's done well. He's a winner. He comes out to beat you every night. Frazier, right side, turns the corner. Excellent speed, Jim, as he goes around the end. Picks up 5 or 6 before he's hit.
And any time that they can turn that end, get outside the end, they're going to do it all night. That end's got to come down, force it back into your linebackers.
That's it for the first quarter of action. The Gladiators strike first and lead 7-0. We'll be right back. Take over at midfield. Second and about 5. Odom looks, lets it fly again. This time over the head of intended receiver Roberson.
That Jermaine Kiersch, the free safety back there, extremely deep. It's going to be difficult throwing over his head.
Yeah, and a bigger player too. Kiersch at 6'2" is a little different than the 5'5" Dana Harrington. Dana comes from a very athletic family, Jim, one that you're well aware of over the last few years here at St. Pete High.
Sure, there have been quite a few Harringtons playing here at St. Pete High, and they're all tough kids, all well-mannered, good kids.
Tillis flank to the left. Roberson to the right. Odom.
He's hit.
He's crushed. Barely gets that ball away.
Kleber, number 55.
Alan Kleber had a key to the door.
Odom felt that. Anytime you're in that throwing motion, you don't see the linebacker, and he's hitting you in the ribs as you're trying to throw the ball. That hurts.
Left side linebacker Alan Kleber came in. Good pressure being put on. Sherrod and Lewis, McCraw and Hoots.
I think the Devils are going to have to do more of the blitzing of the linebackers, Jack. You've got a young, inexperienced offensive line with the Gladiators. They're not going to pick up all the stunts.
Jim, it gives us time to say hello to our #1 fan this year, freshman Kenny Smith, St. Pete High. Better watch for him.
Kenny probably watches our tapes more than anybody in this county.
And he's a freshman JV football player coming along. Special hello to Kenny for helping us put together the pregame show. Kenny, keep it up. Has a good look at the cheerleaders here at St. Pete High. Always have some good-looking cheerleaders here for the Devils.
All the time, Jack, and they put in a lot of work. People don't realize how much practice the cheerleaders they do, and it takes a lot to get those routines down.
Okay, the Gladiators are going to have to punt the ball away, and let's see if St. Pete High can put some pressure on here. Pete Hubbard will be doing the punting. That's over Pete's head. He's in trouble. Picks it up and goes down. So the same thing happens.
First big break for the Devils.
About the 23-yard line. This time it's the Devils that take over.
This is high. I thought he could have jumped up to get it, but it's tough. You've got that neck brace on and everything else. He just decided to get down quickly.
Didn't get off the ground, and that's a problem that Clay Rustemeyer discussed. The starting center's out. Don Bates filling in. Not used to those long snaps.
Trying to get a good snapper is really difficult, Jack.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 24. Jermaine Kirsch looks the situation over. Twin right receivers. He's in trouble. It's picked off. This could be a foot race. It's the punter, Pete Hubbard. He's got an angle on the goal line. He's inside the 10. He's in.
An effort, touchdown.
What an effort.
Just an ill-advised throw by Kears trying to get rid of the ball to avoid the sack. Threw it right into the stomach of Hubbard. Kears comes back, gets great pressure by the defensive end.
That's Bates.
Throws it right to Hubbard. And here's a good foot race right here. And he gets down to the end. He smells that goal line. He wants it. If you're going to run that far, I want the glory.
Well, think about it. Pete Hubbard was the punter who had the ball go over his head. Got the ball back. Gibbs, 13-zip.
Surprise.
Dramatic 77-yard return for the touchdown. Extra point attempt. Up. Lazy kick. Will it make it? It is good. The freshman, Sean Martin, strikes again.
Doesn't have to go far. It just has to go through.
Wow.
Yeah, Kears is having a little problem. He's not handling the rush. He's not getting any blocking on that outside end. And he's just trying to unload the ball to avoid the big sack. And you've got, if you're going to unload it, you've got to unload it to the outside. Throw it away. Don't throw it in the middle.
14-0 Gladiators. And you know, Clay Rustemeyer must be sitting there with the biggest smile on his face. Yet I didn't expect this.
Now, he was so down before the ball game that because of the injuries.
Injuries, illness. You know, he gave us the information of the starters, and about 7 or 8 names are crossed out on the information just in the last day or two with injuries and illness. But it's not over yet. 11:07 to go in the first half. Short end over end kick. It will be fielded at about the 12.
Alexander.
Cuts Pops up inside, hurdles one tackle, out to the 35. And James Givens teams up with Marlon Green to make the stop for Gibbs.
Good middle return, did some nice running there in the open field. And the Devils are going to have to regroup. They don't have to throw it up and try to play catch up. They just try to get a drive, get some confidence in that offense.
Looking at the passers in Pinellas County last week, we got a good look at Tony Rucker. 5 scores last week that he threw for.
678 yards.
So far this season. Woo. All right, here come the Devils, 1st and 10 from their own 35. Kearse looks, fires across the middle. It's complete.
There's Jones.
Tarvin Jones with a big catch in heavy traffic. Good concentration.
Here's a good example of why Tarvin Jones was a leading receiver. Nice moves, nice fluid moves. Not afraid to get hit once he gets in a crowd.
William Anderson makes the stop and a good-looking throw by Jermaine Kearse. Just shy of midfield. 1st down, Devils. I like that formation of triple receivers to the right. Only Sherman's in the backfield. Look out. Linebacker blitz.
The idea behind putting 3 receivers on one side, Tarvin Jones split on the other, is you basically isolate Tarvin Jones one-on-one with a cornerback.
Pete Hubbard again was in there putting the pressure on Jermaine Kearse. 2nd and 10. Well, the senior Terrell Dukes has the honor here on the right side of trying to stay with Tarvin Jones.
There's Steves and Paul on the right-hand side.
On 2nd and 10, the draw. Nice block by Jones outside. A good game, maybe 8 yards. Dukes makes a stop of Corinthian Sermons.
Good read by Sermons to pick up Tarvin Jones's block. Good looking draw here. Here he reads Tarvin Jones's block.
Good teamwork. And Jones making his first appearance here for the Green Devils this year. 3rd and about 3. One of the first big 3rd downs. Behind 2 scores, St. Pete has to come back to stay in this contest.
You've got Alexander replacing Sermons in that backfield.
Quick hitter across the middle to Esteves, couldn't hold on.
Just a quick slant at about 5-6 yards, right on the fingertips. Dangerous pass.
James Givens defending, and that's the same type of pass that cost the University of Florida Trey Everett. Anytime those hands go up and the ribs are exposed.
Also a pass that's easily picked off.
You get short arms, Jim, don't you? Esteves high, nice kick. It's going to be fielded at the 15. Change of directions for Arian Odom, and he goes down quickly.
Almost a late hit there by McMurray.
Edwards and McMurray team up on the stop. So there's 9:10 to go, and Gibbs can add to their 14-0 lead.
St. Pete is having a little trouble just sustaining a drive. They'll come up with a couple nice-looking plays, couple passes, couple runs, and then they stall.
I noticed the Gladiators secondary. They're giving St. Pete a few yards there. They're not going to get burned on a bump and run. They're back a good 10 yards, respecting the speed of Jones.
I like the idea of staying on the ground a little bit with Sermons. Sermons looks good running the ball, so does Alexander.
Against the offense, replay 4th down.
So they'll do it again.
The punting team was not completely set on the snap of the ball.
They go back 5 yards. Esteves will punt from about his own 42. If we get this snap off, yeah, they're going to mark off the penalty. Nice try, guys. Is that one of your old plays, Jim? Punt before they mark off the penalty?
Sure, why not? On the ground.
Snap. Esteves in trouble.
He gets it off.
Great job to get rid of it.
Ball hit him. It's a live ball.
And Gibbs recovers at the 25-yard line.
He let it hit, came right up, hit him in the knee.
Teammates talking to Arian there.
Sure.
What are you doing?
If you're not going to catch it, get away from the football.
What a nice job by Esteves to get rid of that ball.
I thought for sure he was hit.
He was thinking of a nightmare on Elm Street 2. First and 10, Gladiators. Roberson just gets off the field in time. Out of the eye, it's Frazier to the left. He picks his hole well and gets up inside it in a hurry.
They're doing a good job of sealing the tackle down and kicking the end either out or hooking the end. St. Pete High right now is having a little trouble with that defensive end position.
Frazier picks up 7. He's got a good 30 yards here in the first quarter. First half. Nice fluid run. Givens and Roberson, your receivers, again out of the eye. Hyman, the fullback. The give is to Frazier. He's
Good
popped.
hit.
Stays on his feet. That was Tarvin Jones who put the stick on Frazier.
He hit Frazier pretty good, and Frazier took a step back and continued running. He's a pretty tough kid.
Enough for the first down. Ball out over the 36-yard line.
Frazier is listed as 6'2", 192 pounds. That's good size for a sophomore.
With a 14-0 lead, too. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see a lot of Frazier here on this series. Odom looks, fires outside, it's complete. Big-time catch and move by Jonathan Johnson. We didn't expect to see much of John. He's been hurt all season.
Tackled by the strong safety, Esteves. Yeah, this out pattern right here. Free safety gets out there just a little late, and Alexander, number 8, wraps him up.
Excellent reaction by Johnson. How to pull up, turn, and then continue on to make the catch. Good concentration. Another first down at midfield for Gibbs. Frazier left, cuts inside. Nice stop by the Devils this time. Nowhere to go. Alan Kleber.
Good fill by the linebacker. Just a power off the left-hand side away from the tight end. That puts a one-on-one block with a tackle. Good job by the linebacker.
And you know, Gibbs has been getting good yardage, Jim, running to that brand new left side of the line. Willie Moore and Marlon Green have been opening up some big holes on the left side for Frazier.
When you have someone as gifted as Frazier, you just, let him get to the line of scrimmage. Then he'll pick and find some daylight.
Roberson and Givens again.
Ball on the ground.
Odom went down quickly. I think he's got his own fumble.
Got new center. You're trying to get out of there in a hurry, and you just don't get the football. Frustrating.
Starting fullback, Don Bates, came to practice this week to find out he's the starting center.
Ooh, what a switch.
Yeah.
Backs don't like to go down on the line.
Change of attitudes.
He's doing a good job.
You got 5:53 remaining here in the first half. Gibbs on top, 14-0. Odom looks, fires, lofts it across the middle. It's complete to Johnny Johnson. He's got the wheels. He's in.
Touchdown.
Good looking play to the tight end, Johnny Johnson.
Wide open. Free safety was nowhere to be found.
That's his 9th catch of the year. And what a stat builder. 50-yard touchdown.
Popped up over the top. There had to be a stun on because the free safety was nowhere around.
Esteves couldn't catch up in time. Air Gibbs tonight, Jim.
Clay Russellmeyer had mentioned that Johnson had a bad knee. It didn't look too bad on that
Didn't
play.
look bad at all.
He got down the field in a hurry.
From our view, here's Sean Martin, the freshman, for his 3rd in a row. This one is no good. Good pressure by the Green Devils. 6 guys were in on that kick. 20-0 first half score.
Big shock to the people here in Stewart Field. This is a game they expected to win.
There's also a flag on the field. Thrown immediately. You got a feel for the holder, Tim McGee, too. He got cracked.
And he's in a bad position. His hands down on the ground.
Side exposed.
We have illegal motion on the kicking team. roughing the holder on the defensive team. We will replay the down.
Another tough break for the Devils right here.
I'm sure Tim McGee's not too happy about the play, though. So, it will not go down in the scorebook as a block kick for Sean Martin. He'll get a chance to redeem himself. They'll go into the huddle this time, Jim, and Tim McGee will say to the linemen, come on, guys, just this one play. Hold them out. We'll do it again. Your typical 25-yard extra point.
It's blocked.
It's blocked again. Good speed. That was Jermaine Kearse.
And they came right up the middle, no doubt about it.
So that'll do it. Some things never change. It's 20-0. St. Pete is down. Can they come back? Why not? Is right with 5:37 to go in the half. Low kick. It'll be fielded by Sermons, I believe, at the 15. Knifes forward to about the 33, where the Devils will try it again. Tim McGee makes the stop.
I think Demetrius Tillis also was in there to help out on that tackle. The Devils are going to have to try to get something with 5 minutes and 25 seconds to go here. Get some type of a score.
Gibbs been capitalizing on the big plays. 27-yard bomb, a 77-yard interception there, a 50-yard pass over in the middle. 1st and 10, St. Pete, triple receivers. Outside, up the middle. Pick up about 4.
They need to get in and out of the huddle quickly. Not a bad idea. Spread everybody out. Try to get your linebacker on a stunt and let your quarterback, who's fairly quick, to get up the field.
William Anderson makes the stop, and Jermaine can hoof it. I wonder, I know Dusty Boylston says he can run, but maybe not as much as he would like to see. Quarterbacks like to stay back there and throw the ball, though, Jim. You got to build those stats. 2nd and a long 7. In motion is Thomas. Kearse has good protection.
Good time.
Fire is short over the middle. Intended for Paul.
That time he short-armed his throw a little bit. Didn't come up over the top. He had plenty of time. Great protection.
But good coverage in the secondary. Greg Paul was not open by any means.
That situation, the quarterback who's got some pretty good speed and athletic ability, when the man's not open, take it and go. There was no pressure coming from the outside. Just take it and run.
Good secondary play for the Gladiators so far. Robertson, Dukes, Givens, and Odoms. They haven't given up too much.
They're about due to come back to Tarvin Jones on the short side.
Linebackers line up wide. Good coverage. There's the pick. Again, it's Tim McGee, and he's in a foot race. Down to the 20, and there's a flag on the play. Jim, you could see that defense before that play was snapped. Spread. Big spread defense.
And what they did, Kearse just decided he was going to throw the ball to Tarvin Jones, regardless if there was anyone covering him or not. He did not see the defensive back, did not read the coverage. And you can't throw that way. That's where you get a lot of interceptions. You've got to read the coverage.
Well, Gibbs has seen that exact same play now 3 or 4 times in the first half, and each time they went to him. So it was a pretty easy read, but excellent execution for Tim McGee.
We have an illegal block on the return against the white team. It will be 1st down.
They're going to have to use Jones maybe as a decoy and circle a back out of the backfield. Put Jones on a slant because they've got 2 people on him as he releases from the line of scrimmage.
Demetrius Tillis goes out to the left. James Givens to the right. Out of the eye, 1st and 10. It's Mike Frazier. Look out! Big hole up inside. Nice stop, though, by Niall Hoots.
Niles is a sophomore, big sophomore, but you don't like to make that tackle 5-6 yards, behind the line of scrimmage or past the line of scrimmage.
I thought Frazier was going to break that one big.
Well, he's a good-looking kid at 6'2", 192.
Excellent acceleration. through the hole.
That's the difference between your good back and your excellent back. When they see the hole, they've got that extra gear to kick it into and move.
And if he gets through that first 5 yards untouched, you're not going to get him.
He's got good. It looks like he has good vision too. He can pick up the defensive backfield. He's a good cutback runner.
Just shy, pickup of 9 yards for Frazier. Jim, what is it? Do we bring out the offensive exploits everywhere we go? Last week we saw the Park put up 57 points.
We've got 20
tonight.
20 in the
Rolling.
first half.
They're up 20-0 with 4 minutes to go in the first half, and they're hungry.
This could be a wasted down right here. You could actually fake it up inside, pop it to a tight end, and come back for a third or possible fourth down for a foot.
Sounds good from here.
Easy to call him from here.
They'll give it to Frazier. Good block. He goes outside.
Good
What a
move.
move on Sermons. Pick up a 15.
Right, they're the kind of moves you don't teach a kid. He does that naturally. Sucks Sermon to the inside, dipped to the outside, and turned it on. Quality run.
Jermaine Kearse makes the stop. Boy, there was a lot of highway around that left side there when he took off.
That's when your cornerback has to come down, close down, keep his feet wide, not commit.
Tillis and Givens, but again to Frazier. Why change that game plan?
Alan Kleber, number 55, tripped him up in the backfield.
Down to the 15-yard line. Plenty of time. 3:20 to go here in the first half.
St. Pete High is going to have to watch the tight ends, Jack. They're giving St. Pete High 2 tights, okay, and possibly 1 or 2 wide outs. That'll put the strong safety on one tight end, but leaves the other tight end for the linebacker.
Johnny Johnson, that tight end who scored on that last possession. Can't see who the tight end is on the right.
No, they just have one tight end on the left-hand side here.
In trouble. Odom goes down.
Eric McGraw, number 54, good pressure.
Also Alan Kleber.
Kleber's having a good night.
Gets up slowly, but in on the sack. You're right, Alan Kleber, left side linebacker.
Well, they're playing games with him, Jack. They're sending him on different type of stunts up inside. It's working, and they're getting him involved in a lot of tackles.
Trainers out on the field, Dr. Gil Machasik. Checking out Alan, making sure he's all right.
I think Allen got kicked in the chin on the previous play, so I think he's hurting a little bit.
We're going to take a timeout with 2:28 to go. We'll be right back. Brings up third and about 17 to go for Gibbs.
They had to take Kleber out of the ball game.
You're right, he's holding his throat. Says he's okay. Odom goes into the end zone. Batted away at the last minute. Jermaine Kearse. Gladiators had a man open in the end zone.
When the Devils took out Kleber, they put in Jack Oliver, who was on a blitz right away, put good pressure on Odom.
Johnny Johnson was racking up that second score of the night. Spoiled by Kearse.
That's when you can taste it. It's up high. It's right there.
I got it. I got it.
All of a sudden, here comes an arm. Got 2 tight ends here.
Only Roberson flanked to the right. Odom looks for him and fires across the middle. Good coverage.
Tarvin Jones.
He popped him.
Good idea. You've got 2 tight ends and a wide out, and you cross your tight ends at about 12 yards. You're trying to get the defensive backs to get confused, get some open in the middle. You're expecting your linebackers to drop off and plug up the middle.
With 2:09 left, St. Pete High will take over. Good defensive stand.
Clay Rustemeyer has done a good job of preparing the Gladiators, especially with all the injuries he's had during the week and the replacements. They're executing well.
Handoff inside, nothing doing. Gladiators front wall was inside the secondary.
Little draw to Alexander.
William Anderson hit Alexander 2 yards, 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Interesting call, I might add.
This is tough right here because you want to try to get something on the board with 1:46, but again, you can't give up another score. Another score just about takes you out of the ball game.
Well, we got Jones up to the left, triple receivers to the right. Kears in trouble. Lets it fly. He's got a man open. The line of scrimmage.
Alexander, number 8.
You had that called, Jim. They went to your play. Send Tarvin Jones as a decoy and back out of the backfield. He was wide open momentarily.
It's too bad that Kears couldn't get him the ball right away, but he was running for his life.
Good recovery by the Gladiators. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7.
They had good success with the curl pattern with Estevez inside on the curl.
Wide receiver Eric Holmes will take a breather. Trip receivers to the right. Kears comes this way. He's flushed out of the pocket. Looks and lofts the pass. It's complete.
Good catch by Alexander again, but there's a flag down on the field. And it looked like maybe number 68 was downfield.
Trying to throw that block. James Givens in on the stop. We'll await the call. Gonna go against St. Pete High. Too bad that was a first down.
Good scramble.
I like the idea though, Jim, that Gibbs is putting a lot of pressure up inside. Got it. Kears has to get outside of that pressure. And with the triple receivers, I can buy some time.
Ineligible man downfield. I think it was number 68, Sean Brass. That's what happens. It looks like the quarterback's going to run. Sean wants to get out of there and help out, and then all of a sudden, the quarterback throws the ball. And there's no way you want to hide. You want to get down on your knees and hide if you're a lineman. Good hustle, Sean.
Jones flanks one-on-one coverage. Ian Roberson this time. A little stunt up inside. Kears has some time. Set up. Screen on the outside.
Another flag down.
You had the double receivers right there. One to block, one to catch.
Dangerous pass. Sprinting to your right, turning around, throwing a short, flat pass to the left. Woo!
Intended for Terrence Ware. He had Estevez in front of him to throw a block.
I think they waved off the flag. And I like to see that. When the officials make a mistake, they take that flag and they wave it and they just said, hey, I screwed up. Everybody makes mistakes.
The Green Devils will try to punt the ball away with 20 seconds to go here in the first half. This time a good snap. Estevez gets it away. Short spiral. Sermons will down it for St. Pete High. 10 seconds to go in the half. Just enough time possibly for Arian Odom to loft.
I'm going to put that ball down and start that clock, though. They're going to have to be up on the line of scrimmage.
All right, Jim, what are you going to call? Is it going to be Frazier up the middle?
You're not going to have time. That
Nope.
clock is running right now, and they're just going to go in, feel good about a 20-0 halftime lead.
They're going to feel real good. The Gatorade's going to taste a lot colder in the Gladiators locker room. They're on top by 20.
Coach Dusty Boylston has a big job to get in that locker room and pump up the Devils.
Okay, we'll be right back now with our special halftime show with Dr. Gil Machasik, Military Chiropractic Center. We'll be right back. Chiropractic Center, weekly. Sponsor of Paragon Cable High School Sports. Dr. Gill will be with us to talk about sports medicine. We're on your home turf tonight, Doctor, here at St. Petersburg High School.
Well, it's a beautiful night tonight. I hope we're going to get our first win. The kids have been working hard all week, and everybody's pretty healthy, so we're looking forward to a good game.
Dr. Machasik is the trainer here for the football team at St. Petersburg High School. Let's go back a little bit, Gil, about your career and how it evolved in sports medicine.
That's fine. Well, I played college football and baseball, and so I've always had interest in sports medicine. When I got out of school, I took some advanced training in sports medicine, and the term sports medicine physician is something that's come in vogue about the last 10 or 12 years. And I can see from the time that I played high school and college athletics that we've really had a lot of advances in the area of sports medicine, not only in respect for what we can do on the field with the injuries, but also off the field in terms of diagnosis and treatment and rehabilitation of the injuries. And I feel very strongly that today, compared to where we were when I played, we can rehabilitate the athletes and get them back on the field about 50% faster on the average than we did when I played.
How is that? What are the new advancements in technology, or explain that?
Every day there's new advances in technology. As far as knee surgeries are concerned, a lot of the surgeries are arthroscopic procedures, where in my day we had the old zipper scar, and that you're talking about 2 weeks rehabilitation as compared to maybe 2 or 3 months. In terms of treating acute sprains and strains, we've had a lot of advances in terms of physiotherapy modalities. In our clinic, for instance, we have a new type of therapy called the myomanic electrical muscle stimulator, which world-class athletes like Jerry Rice and whatnot from the 49ers, and Carl Lewis is one that was exposed to that during the Olympics, and they claim statistically that these injuries can be rehabilitated about 50% faster. So that's an advantage to the coaches, to the staff, to the players, and to everybody concerned.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about statistics. They say in 1 year of high school football there will be more injuries than all of World War II. So let's take a common injury in the football field. Let's take a shoulder injury.
Okay.
Now, if that happens to one of your team or anyone here that might be listening, and they come to the Latore Chiropractic Center, what's the treatment?
Well, first of all, obviously we want to do evaluation on the shoulder to find out what the problem is. If it's a soft tissue sprain strain, like say a acromioclavicular strain, and we take x-rays and we don't find any gross dislocation or whatever, we could start to treat that injury on an aggressive mode with equipment like the myomanic or other types of interferential current, along with ice and mobilization techniques, to help not only get the patient athlete over the pain as fast as we can and the inflammation, but to rehabilitate that with appropriate exercises that are available to us, so that again we can get them back on the field prudently within the least amount of time.
You see a lot of things I don't understand. It's not like the old football movies where the doctor looks at it and goes, 3 weeks, coach.
Which part hurts, right? Yeah. Oh, things have changed, yeah.
Okay, I want to thank you very much for spending some time with us, and we'll be right back with the game right after this. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, Jack. Take care.
Brought to you by Gulf Shore Sports Store, the oldest sporting goods store in Pinellas County with all the new stuff. Stop by, visit the McKenna brothers, Tommy, Mike, and Kevin. Remember, basketball season's around the corner. New Air Jordans, the new Nikes, everything's in stock. Leather jackets, club jerseys, whatever you need, sports fans. Drop in, tell them I sent you, ask for the discount, the high school football discount from Paragon Cable. Jim, I wouldn't bet the ranch, but if I had to, you know where I'd go? Gulf and Southern Mortgage Corporation. Why? I get pre-qualified in 1 day. I don't care what you need it for, FHA, VA financing, and especially you renters. Hey, you've been renting too long. Buy your own house. Go on down to Gulf and Southern, talk to Rich Rivera, find out just how much you can afford, then call me and we'll bet on next week's game. 20-0.
And rain at halftime. Really going to make it difficult for the Devils to get back into the ball game.
field is going to be wet. It's still raining now. Not quite as hard as it was. A front has moved in. High winds from left to right on your screen. Green Devils will kick off. And if anything, it should add to the stats of the kicker. Ryan Estevez with this wind.
If you're Coach Dusty Boylston, you're hoping right now that you can kick the ball deep, get the turnover because of a wet football, and then try to pound it in to get back in the football game.
Story of the first half, Gladiators took advantage of opportunities.
Big play first half.
That it was. We had a 23-yard touchdown pass to Roberson from Arian Odom. We had a 77-yard INT return by Pete Hubbard. And then John Johnson with a 50-yard reception from Odom. So Arian's going to definitely add to his stats tonight.
Well over 100 yards in that first half, easily.
And I remember Arian's first pass attempt as a quarterback. Last play of the St. Pete High game last year, we hit his brother Brian for the winning touchdown across the middle at the goal line. Estevez kick is high into the night, all the way back.
Good kick, the ball's on the ground.
You called it, on the ground. Picked up by
Good
Brad
tackle.
Hyman will
Greg
take it
Paul,
out
number 7.
inside the 15-yard line. Stopped by Greg Paul. This is going to be fun calling the game for you folks. We're up here at beautiful Stewart Field in their brand new press box. We've had a lot of rain. We're looking out windows with a lot of rain in them. We've got the cheerleaders up here. Got everybody to help us out.
Tough call right down here for the Gladiators. You've got to play conservatively.
That they do. Mike Frazier, no gain up inside. Stopped by Jeff Robinson.
If you're Alvin Davis, the defensive coordinator for the Devils, you're going to load up the inside. You don't expect them to pass or get to the outside.
Out of the 5-2 defense, Jeff Robinson is the nose guard. Doug Lewis, Russ Sherrard, Eric McCraw, and now Hoots.
Robinson is 230 pounds right over top of that center.
You've got 6 guys over center right now. Linebackers pinching. Only 3 men back, and they're all coming. Frazier trying to get outside. And
Hoots, the ball's
down.
on the ground.
It's still loose. Gladiators had the first shot at that ball on the field.
It's Niall Hoots.
No
61.
indication yet.
Frazier tried to bump to the outside. Hoots got him by the jersey. Here you see him slide to the outside. 61 grabs him, grabs the football. It's out.
Green Devils could really use a break. They got the wind and a strong wind at their back. Driving rain.
This is a third down call here that I just wouldn't want to make. Do you throw it or do you play conservative football and try to punt it out on the next down?
I'd play conservative. You got to throw into a pretty strong wind here. And 2 things can happen and one is bad. Straight handoff.
Fullback.
Nothing doing. Hyman, no gain. No.
Jack Oliver, number 54.
And Eric McCraw.
Eric McGraw, number 54.
All right, so Gibbs, for the first time tonight, if I'm not mistaken, for the second time, will be punting the ball. The last time they punted, Pete Hubbard had the ball go over his head.
You talk about some pressure on the snapper right here. Wet football. You haven't done it too often. You're new at the game.
That's Don Bates.
And loading up the defense. Here come the Devils.
Beautiful kick into the wind. It's high. Estevez at the 37 fields it. Bulls forward to the 35.
Good job of just catching the football. No roll. Pick up an extra 5 yards. You like a guy to be able to get up there and do that.
And a nice punt by Pete Hubbard into the wind back from his own goal line, and that wind's kicking up.
Gutsy catch.
You got about a 15-mile-an-hour wind, which will help the Green Devils. They got the wind at their sails.
Here, I think, Jack, they've got to go back to the running game. Sermons ran the ball well, so did Alexander in the first half.
Tarvin Jones goes to the left. They pitch. Ball's on the ground. Oh, picked up and popped is Terrence Ware.
Terrence Ware, his first time in there as a tailback.
William Anderson was the first Gladiator there on the stop.
Terrence has real good speed at 5'6", 160-pound senior.
And it runs in the family, doesn't it?
Sure does. He's got a cousin, Timmy Ware, who we watched play many times at Northeast High School, and who's with the University of Wisconsin right now, doing well, returning kickoffs and punts.
Matter of fact, I saw him on TV about a month ago. All right, 2nd and 10. Flags are down. Almost each offensive series, the Gladiators the Green Devils of St. Petersburg line up in the triple receivers. Jim, what are they trying to accomplish there?
What they're trying to do is to sprint out the defense to one side and give the running back ample time to pick his way up inside. Spread the linebackers out. Somebody has to cover that third receiver to the inside. It's usually a linebacker. But when you put it into the short side of the field, the sideline becomes a defensive back.
2nd and 12. Kearse, he's in trouble.
Ball's on the ground.
Loses the ball, and guess who's on top of it again? 23, Pete Hubbard. Flags are down. Maybe in the grasp, Jermaine Cross.
Kearse is trying to do too much right here. He's not getting good protection. He's trying to get rid of the football. He needs to eat it right there. Protect the football on a wet field.
It's going to be, they're heading backwards, I can tell you that. Back to about the 46-yard line of St. Pete High.
Unsportsmanlike.
Dead ball, personal foul on the green, first down.
A little frustration after the fumble, I'm sure. And things are just not going real well for the Devils. Kearse is having just a little problem with his decisions, and they're costing right now.
Rain not helping anything either. Arian Odom's team will take over at the 46. Tailback Fraser. He picks up about 4.
Now here's a smart call by Clay Rustemeyer. You're up 20-0, you're on a wet field. Instead of going with razzle-dazzle, come back to your base offense, which is the wishbone. Play power football out of the wishbone, eat the clock up.
Russ Sherrod makes the stop. Keeps the clock running if you can keep that ball on the ground. 7:30 to go in the first quarter. Full house backfield. Only one receiver. Get some blockers for Fraser. But nothing but Devils right there.
About 4 right there.
Carlos Thomas teams up with Niall Hoots.
Russell Sherrod, also the big guy, helping on the tackle. 6'1", 270 pounds.
Got to help the Green Devil defense there. The wet field. Nobody gets in traction. You got some big horses inside there, too.
And
Sherrod, Robinson, and Lewis.
they're going to have to load up the inside when Gibbs gets into the wishbone.
Let's call it 3rd and 7. Odom keeps a naked reverse. There he goes.
Good call.
Good keeper.
Excellent call.
Inside the 40, and it's going to be close. I think he might be shy. Let's see it.
There you just see a naked reverse off the bone, puts it on his hip, gets outside of the sophomore Hoots.
He's been active tonight. He's had one heck of a game.
He's a good athlete. That sophomore is going to learn to stay home first, do his assignment, then try to get in on the tackle.
Arian Odom is about a yard shy of the first down. Gibbs is going to go for it, though. Why not? They lead 20-0 with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. They give it to Fraser.
I don't think he made it.
Nothing doing. 4 Green Devils right there.
Right. Sherrod, the big guy. Sermon's in there.
And Thomas. Carlos Thomas came up and really popped them.
Rob Shuck also in there.
Everybody gets in on that play. This makes it real hard for St. Petersburg to make an effective comeback. Down 3 scores in a soaking wet field.
You've got a quarterback, his best suit is probably scrambling and then throwing the football.
First and 10, Green Devils. Kiersch looks right, keeps. Gets out of bounds, picks up 5.
Good plays. Picked up 5, stepped out of bounds, stopped the clock.
I like the call for one reason. The secondary has to be guessing now. They can't go drop 15 yards. If he can get around the outside 1 or 2 more times, they're going to have to pinch and help.
They're definitely playing pass, playing almost prevent defense, especially they're looking to Jones's side. They dropped the linebacker off on his side.
Gibbs' defense has been relentless tonight.
They're only rushing 4 people, dropping everybody else off.
That's been the key to 3 linebackers right there to read. Corners are up 5 yards to read. Kiersch rolls, he's flushed out, he's in trouble, turns the corner, nifty move for a first down. On a wet track.
Good
Not
job.
too bad.
Especially running to your left, you're a right-hander, tough to throw. That time he was looking for his tight end, Eric Holmes, number 83. When he was in trouble, Eric did not turn up the field.
Marlon Green makes the stop. First down, Green Devils inside of Gibbs territory. Clock keeps running.
When Kiersch scrambles like that, Jack, the receivers have to go to an open area, whether it's deep or short. Find an open area.
Again, a lot of pressure up near the line of scrimmage. 8 men up front. Kiersch in trouble, unloads, it's complete.
Alexander, number 8.
Tries to turn the corner. Spreads the field very well. William Anderson makes the stop.
Good job by Kiersch holding onto the ball until the last second. Finding Alexander in the flat. He gets hammered. Good open field tackle right here.
Gladiator secondary showing some good foot speed tonight. Green Devils have not been able to get outside and around the secondary. And if you analyze it, Jim, the defensive front 4 of Gibbs is what's really causing the problem for St. Petersburg. The linebackers can stay back and help in pass defense. We saw the INT by the middle linebacker before.
Kiersch doesn't have time to sit back there and pick out his best receiver.
And there's 7 defensive backs there to help out on pass defense. And God forbid they try the Tarvin Jones 7 or 8 yard looking again, because Gibbs knows that play.
They're going to have to try to stretch him out a little bit. Maybe just a streak pattern with Jones on the outside. Stretch out the defense, then come back up underneath.
If anything, that they go to the other side, the medium range look in or out pattern should be open. Second and 8.
Only rushing 3 people up front.
4 linebackers right up inside. Defensive backs galore, and still pressure is on. Alexander breaks it. Face mask penalty coming up.
That's going to help the Devils right there.
Tough break for Gibbs. Out of bounds.
Here you've got 3 people rushing and 1 guy breaks through. There's a breakdown on the offensive blocking right there. 63 should not get in that easily when they're only rushing 3 people.
Don Bates in the invisible white uniform. That's amazing, isn't it? Only 3 rushers and the guy goes in untouched.
Big penalty right here. This helps the Devils.
Face mask on the defense. First down.
Takes St. Pete down to the 35. They need a couple scores quickly while they still have the wind as an ally.
Right, the clock is becoming an enemy of the Devils right now.
4:25 to go. Third quarter, they trailed 20-0. Triple receivers left. Kiersch looks, fires across the middle, picked off. Arian Odom, the quarterback and defensive back. Jim, that was right to him.
That was high. It was released high. The ball gets wet. It's going to sail a little bit on the out. Here he lets go of the ball high. It's anytime you throw over the middle, you're going to take this chance, especially with all the defensive backs that are back there. Odom does a good job playing center field and makes a nice run out of it.
Good speed. He was looking for Alexander across the middle. So Clay Rustemeyer gets a big sigh of relief right there.
And they go back in the bone to eat up that clock.
Why not from the 40? No, Odom.
Surprise.
In trouble. Lost it. And out of bounds. Arian didn't expect that when he turned around. The Green Devils were right there.
That's a surprise to come in with a bone and then try to throw.
Robinson and Sherrod put the pressure on Odom. Well, expect the unexpected. High school football. Show them one thing, give them another. Name of the game. Which brings up another fact, Jim. It's almost the same thing the coaches with us before the game. You ask them what they're going to do. They don't tell you anymore, do they?
I'm not sure they think there's a pipeline here or not.
On second down, Fraser is going to lose a yard or two.
Kleber, number 55.
I'm sure any of the coaches listening are chuckling right now. And we can't tell Jim Mewa anything. He's going to turn around and tell the other coach. I can assure you, your secrets are safe with us. Speaking of coaches, how about Countryside?
Bob Stevens is doing a great job up there. He's 3-0.
I'm glad to see Bob doing well to coach at Lakewood Spartans too. Some excellent years. Over the middle. Intended for Johnson. Same play they scored on.
Almost picked off by Estevez.
He wishes he had that one back.
Woo.
In a driving rainstorm. More wind than rain, but just enough to make it wet, sloppy.
And Estevez will go back to field this punt. This is tough. This is a wet football.
And the Devils have 9 men up on the line of scrimmage. They've got to go for this. Pete Hubbard had one bad snap earlier, but he's had a big game. Good kick by Pete. Estevez from the 26. He slips. He's down on his knees. Ball is down at the 26.
Did a good job of fielding that ball. If it rolls, it's going to pick up another 15, 20 yards.
Third down. Oh, excuse me. 3:04 to go in the third quarter. With the wind at your back, St. Pete has to strike right here. I'm surprised we haven't seen Tarvin Jones long.
Now, I'm not real. Tarvin doesn't have great speed, Jack. He's got good moves inside. He's a real fluid athlete, but he doesn't have the breakaway speed down the sideline. Little mix-up in the huddle there with the Green Devils. They had to call it time.
You know, if you remember last year, we had a lot of rain early in the season. Our first 3 or 4 ball games were in rain. Got a timeout on the field, and with that, to go. St. Pete needs some miracles here. In the rain, they're at the 45-yard line of the Gladiators. Kearse has trouble.
Backside.
Boom. He's hammered. Timmy McGee came from the weak side. Nobody touched him, and Kearse never saw him.
Kearse has got to understand that rolling out to your right, if you do it slowly, there's going to be somebody on your backside. Here he is. Nobody touches him. And he gets ripped. Ball on the ground, but I think he hit the ground first.
That didn't help. Loss of about 8. Jones comes again. Terrell Dukes having a good night tonight on Jones. Although I thought St. Pete had him burnt on that stop and go pass.
Again, you've got trips into the short side of the field.
I'd come back to it too. I don't think the free safety can get over and help.
That's a hard throw with a wet football.
This time it's a quick hitch.
That ball may be a live football.
Heads up play by Dukes to cover the ball.
Sure did. If that ball goes straight across or back, it is a live football. It's a lateral.
That play right there you used to perfection 8 years ago with Vader Green.
Just a quick hit, you get the defensive back off. Tarvin doesn't have the quickness that Veda had. Veda was at top speed after his second step.
Also, you have some news from your quarterback of the 84 club.
It was nice to hear that Stacy Manning is back in school. He's not playing football, but he's running track for Tampa College to get his last year of schooling in, and I'm real happy for Stacy.
Corinthian Sermons gets the call, goes up the middle for short yardage. But the Green Devils are going to have to punt the ball away, 4th and 11. Estevez, the punter, at his own 40. A lot of pressure. Short kick. Wynn's going to hold it up. Takes
Backward roll.
Gladiator bounce at the 35. So that play had a net effect of about 11 yards.
Big defensive stand right here for the Devils. They're going to have to get that ball quickly. Hope for a turnover.
This rain has ruined it for all the fans here tonight. There's about 100 people left on the St. Pete High side. Maybe about 24 for the Gladiators. Mike Fraser out of the full house backfield. He'll pick up 4. Jim, I would expect to see Fraser right, Fraser left till the cows come home.
Out of the wishbone, you have 2 lead backs, 2 tight ends. Obviously, St. Pete is going to load up the inside, but you're eating up